All right, this is going to be a quick training, or maybe not a quick training, on Zoom. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and also ways to save money when it comes to Zoom. So if you don't already have a Zoom account, go ahead and make sure that you create one. Now, when you join Zoom, there are a couple of different plans and pricing. So if you are on the free plan, you may not be able to, like if your meetings or whatever you're going to be utilizing Zoom for, if it is over 45 minutes, you're going to want to have a plan. Otherwise, under the free plan, you can only record for 45 minutes and then you're going to have to reset it again, okay? Now, Zoom can get a little bit expensive, so I have found a solution for that opens you up to having more. Under the business plan, you'll get the business plan and it won't be $18.32 a month. And that's not even $18.32. It's $29.99, or Zoom itself is $15.99 if you're not paying for the yearly plan. But if you don't have a Zoom account, make sure that you set one up first under the basic plan. And that should be self-explanatory. You're just going to sign up, put your email, create a password, and boom, you're good to go. Now, I have the Zoom app downloaded on my computer, okay? And I do highly recommend doing that if you're going to be utilizing Zoom often. It just helps it make it a little bit more convenient. But how I have been able to get around with paying the $15.99 a month, I utilize Working Live. And what Working Live has done is it syncs with your Zoom account. And they have what they did actually was create an enterprise plan, and you are buying one of their license, okay? I've never had any issues with it. I've been with Working Live for almost 2 years. It opens it up to more things, and I really, really like how they do it, and it's cheaper. So under Working Live, after you get done with your Zoom account, and this is only if you are going to be utilizing Zoom often. If you're not someone who's going to utilize Zoom often, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you are paying or you need more than 45 minutes, you guys are going to have to upgrade. Or you're going to have to, do your meeting for 45 minutes, create another link, and then give them another link. So, whatever your recordings are, or your meetings, you're going to have to do like one meeting, close it out, another meeting, close it out, and so forth. Okay. It just all depends on what you're utilizing it for. And if you're quite not sure on that, you can always send me a message and I can kind of help you figure it out. But under Working Live, what it is their pricing is $12.99 a month. Or if you're someone that wants to save some money, you can sign up for the yearly plan. And it opens it up for you to have more, what's the word I'm looking for? More things to utilize with Zoom, okay? And you don't have to know all what these things are. This is just a quick meeting to kind of give you guys a crash course, and then you can dive in. Again, Zoom has a support system, and they do have trainings if you want to dig in further on how to do different things with Zoom. I just use it for the basic stuff, so this is going to be a basic training on that. But you're going to sign up with Working Live after you've created your free plan, okay? I select the $12.99 a month, fill in your information, what you're going to be. It's going to be quantity 1. If you are doing meetings with this many people, some of you are not, some of you may, then you can upgrade to this. But you don't have to worry about that. And then subtotal, continue, like you're going to fill in your information, continue your billing information, and subscribe. What Working Live will do behind the scenes is send you an email, or in the next screen it will ask you for your Zoom information, and they will sync it behind the scenes and send you an email to let you know. Now, what that does is when you go back to your Zoom account and you sign in, go ahead and sign in. It gives you a couple of different options, okay? So when you log into your Zoom account, you're gonna have your profile, and this is where you can change the profile picture. So what that does is when you click on Zoom and you do a new meeting, you're gonna click with Join with Audio, or not. It's got this picture right here is going to be tied into that, okay? So I'm going to exit this real quick so I can finish my training. So that's where this picture comes from. You can change your name, you can add your company. If you have one, I highly suggest you utilize this to market yourself. All your information. If you have a personal link, you can create a personal link. So mine is Rise University, and I don't really have a host key or anything like that, okay? So I'm able to have 500 participants on there. If you are under the free plan or you're paying through the regular plan through Zoom, you cannot have that much. That's why I like all that information. But your profile is going to sync your calendar. If you're just utilizing it for like a couple of meetings, you don't have to really go through all this extent. But if you're someone like me who utilizes Zoom often, then put all your information in there. All your meetings are going to be in the meeting tab. And what I do, if you're someone who is like, if you have a client, they book with you and they've scheduled a week ahead, okay? Most, if you're using a scheduler, it will sync with Zoom and go ahead and do that. But if you're not, if they book with you through Facebook or however they contact you, you don't quite have a website, you can schedule the meetings here. Now, what scheduling the meeting does, test meeting, is you'll be able to send them a link and an invite, and then they can put it on their calendars so that they have reminders and also so forth, okay, for future reference. You can add a description. You don't have to add a description. When the time is, AM, PM, how long it is, what time zone. This is your time zone, not the other person's time zone, your time zone. You can set it up as a reoccurring meeting and get their email address, because then you can put their email address in here. All right. I don't change that. I wouldn't, you don't have to do the registration. I don't. And you don't have to worry about any of the templates. Now, if you want a passcode, you can passcode. I bypass that. That way people can just log in and they don't have to, they don't see that there's a passcode. They don't have to contact you like, hey, what is the password to log in? Waiting room is if they jump on the meeting prior to you, they're going to be put in a waiting room, and then when you come on, you can let them in. That is what I highly recommend doing, not allowing the person to join your meeting, because if you're not there, sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, they didn't join, and leave. So what I do is just keep this, the waiting room checked. You don't have to require authentication to join. And on the video, I do on or off. And then click save. Okay? So here's your test meeting. And here's the invite link. Now you can go ahead and add this to your calendar right away if you want to go ahead and do that. But what this will do is give you a link for you to share with them, and then they'll be able to join, okay? You can copy invitation down here. Copy invitation has all the information. If they want to join mobile, they're able to do that. So if it's somebody that's joining, you know, for a new time, you can just copy the whole invitation and send that to them. Sometimes people just copy the link. All right. So that's how you would set up a, you know, future meeting inside of Zoom online. Now, I didn't do this through the app. I go online to do it. Okay. All this other stuff we're not going to go over. It's different things that Zoom has added, but for the basic training of Zoom, this is how I would utilize it. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over to Zoom. I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to pop this open. Okay. Now, when you log into your meeting, you're going to see all this. Sometimes you're going to be muted. You may be unmuted. But this button down here is where you're going to control the volume. Okay. And if you can't hear yourself, sometimes if you have different microphones, you may not have one connect that's pulling in. You're going to be able to find this here. And if there's no sound, you can test each microphone, okay? Speakers, I don't really mess with, okay? This is, it automatically pulls up my speaker, but I've never really, you know, unless there's not sound, they're talking, you can test your speakers. Sometimes it's the other person on the other end that may not have their microphone set. So it's just playing around with this. Don't change it too often. Just kind of have them troubleshoot first. And if there's no sound, you know, you can test if it's on a speaker that may not be picking up the sound, okay? And you can test. So down here, it will tell you, you know, the sound came through. So my speakers are working and so forth. I'm going to close that out. Now, starting your video. Your video is going to be down here. You can turn it on just like that, or you can turn it off. And down here with the up arrow, you have all the different cameras, okay? This is my stream camera. If you're working from a laptop, you would have that come up, you know, all different things. So you can blur. Let me show you what this looks like. So you can blur your background and have that set. If you want to choose a virtual background, you can go ahead and do that. There are some set templates in here. Here's all your other settings, but we're going to get in that in a moment. If you want to do a video filter, yeah, okay. So here's like different filters. I don't highly recommend doing that when you're doing videos, but if you want to change your background, you certainly can, because like I've got a lot of stuff going on in my background, so I like to add a virtual background to my videos. And with Zoom, the one thing that I do like is that you don't have to have a green screen, okay? And how you do that is it will be unchecked. If you have a green screen, it will pull it in. You can mirror your video, but I don't mess with that either. So this is just the basics: virtual backgrounds, video filters, and then of course you have different avatars. So if you want to record a video and you don't like your face on there, you can go ahead and add an avatar now. Don't do none. Okay? So there you go with the video settings. I'm going to go ahead and change that. Now, let's go ahead and go back into settings. So you have your video. It's pulling in my right camera. You can touch up your appearance. You can adjust for low light. You can display their name. But you don't really have to jump into this so much. Your audio, again, you can test it here. You can test your microphone, so it's picking up my microphone. You can test your speaker. This is for share screen. So if you're someone that's sharing a screen, or you have another person who's on your meeting that wants to share their screen, you're going to be able to find all of the settings here. Okay. When I share my screen in the meeting, automatically share my desktop. That needs to be clicked. And yeah, Zoom rooms we're not going over in this meeting, so I'm not even going to touch on that. You can have different apps, but again, if you're just wanting to learn the crash course, I would not dive into a lot of these settings. And again, you can change your profile here. All right. So let's talk about inviting. Let's say you didn't create an invite prior and you are popping on and you need to send them the link. Well, Zoom has hidden the kind of invite section, so you can't quite find it down here. But what you're going to do is click participants, and it's going to open up this side window. This is where you can find the invite, and what it does, you can copy the invitation, which it copies it all. You can copy the invite link. And so when you go over to, to share with somebody, you can just paste it. I press Control V, and there's my invite link that I have. Or you can right click, paste, boom, there it is. Okay. If you are on a meeting and there are multiple people on the meeting and you want to go ahead and so many people are talking, you will see everybody on the meeting here, and there will be 3 dots just like that. And there should be it shows where it's muted or not. You can mute each individual person, or you can go ahead and mute all. Chat. Here's where you're going to find your chat. When you click on chat, everyone that is chatting is going to be down here. You can select, when there's more people on the meeting, you can select to chat with everyone in the meeting, or you can chat with an individual person. Now, if you're recording the meeting, which we're going to go over here in a moment, I am going to it just shows the everyone chat. You do have the option in one of the settings to pull in the chat, but sometimes it doesn't, just to let you know. So this is where you're going to chat with everybody. Share screen again. It's going to pull up, and this is where a lot of people get hung up, because what Zoom does is, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. If it's not working for you guys, please know that sometimes I have issues as well. But when you go to share your screen, have whatever it is that you're sharing up first. So I'm going to be sharing my desktop or my window. I don't think it gives me the option to share the desktop. Yeah, it's a tab, phone link. It's anything that you have open already. So if you're going to share a presentation, go ahead and make sure that you have your presentation open. I'm going to open up a presentation real quick so I can show you guys exactly how that works. We'll just pull this up and pretend like it is a presentation. Present. Okay, so here's my presentation. If I'm going to actually do presenter view, present. Okay, so it opened it up in a separate window. I'm going to minimize that. When I go back to Zoom and I do share, so here's my presentation, and I can go ahead and click share, and it's sharing just this screen. It doesn't see anything else that I am doing outside of that, it's just going to share one window or one screen at the time. Sometimes when you do go to share, it may just be one tab. So if you're online and you have a bunch of different tabs open, it may just share that one tab. So make sure that whatever it is that you want to share, you have open prior. That way you're able to find it. Now, what that's going to do when you click shares, it's going to open up a toolbar. And underneath that toolbar, you'll be able to navigate through the sharing or not sharing, okay? So I'm going to click stop sharing, and then now you can see my Zoom again, all right? So that's how you would do share screen. I would not worry about any of the advanced stuff, files, apps. That's advanced. This is just the basic training. Now, if you want to have a whiteboard, you can have a whiteboard. And what that does is you can draw on it, all right? Click. So if you're somebody that wants to, you know, do a presentation like this, you're able to do that, but you don't have to. That's a little bit more advanced. I don't really mess with any of the other buttons, okay, except for the record, all right? So, record. This is important, and this is why I like to utilize the online account. So when you click record, it's going to tell you to click record on this computer or record on the cloud. You can choose either one. Now, know when you record on the computer, you can't, like if your meeting is, you know, 30 minutes or longer, even 15 minutes or longer, you won't be able to take that recording and send it through Facebook or Instagram or even email it sometimes, because it's going to be too big of a file for you to email. So then you're going to have to try to troubleshoot on, oh my God, how do I send this? Which you can upload into Google Documents and then share the link from Google Documents to them for them to be able to find the recording. But let me show you an easier way on how to do this. And this is why I walked you through at the very beginning on how to set up an online account. Because when you record to the cloud, I'm going to click that, and it's starting to record, all right? And it'll tell you if you're muted, if you don't have your camera on, vice versa. You unmute yourself because nobody can hear you, all right? It's the recording button is going to pop up in the left-hand corner. If you want to pause it and say something like you don't want recorded, you can, and then click play. It'll continue to record. And when you are done recording, you can click stop, or if it's at the end of the meeting, you can just click end. So let me show you what happens when you record to the cloud. Also, the meeting won't process until the end. So when I go over here to Zoom, back to Zoom. Oh. Did it close out Zoom? I guess it closed out Zoom. I don't remember closing out Zoom. When you go back into your account, right under recordings, boom, it's right there, okay? So I was having trouble with my screen share, so when I was doing it, it's still processing the recording. But let me show you what happens. So some of these may have big files. So you can click on that. So I have this one that I started when I popped on. I'm just going to go ahead and move that to trash, delete it. You can change this, all right? So I can't remember what this meeting exactly was. I tried to name them, but what you can do is change the name. So if it's for a client, you can, or you did a reading or a session, you can put their name, session, and date so that it's easier for you to find. You're going to click save, and then you have all these files. So you can copy this link and you can share it with them. And what happens when you share it with them and they go to it, they're going to be able to see the meeting, okay? And they're going to be able to play. They can go ahead, it's going to give you a transcript. They can download the files to their computer, so you don't have to worry about downloading it, uploading it to another program and sending them the link and all that other stuff. It will, if you do it to the cloud, you can share that link and then they'll be able to access and download it for themselves. What I like to tell my clients is that once I share it, to go ahead and download their information, because usually around 3 months I go and delete the files. Also, depending on what plan you're under with Zoom will only hold a certain amount of files because of their memory, whatever you're paying for, and they can potentially get deleted. Now, that doesn't happen until you start to run out of memory, and Zoom will always notify you, so don't worry about losing any files. But to give you a heads up, do it online. That way, or record to the cloud. That way you can just share the link. They can download. You can download for your files if you want to do that. And it just makes it easier for everybody else. Excuse me. And of course, this is, different coaches, and it since they've integrated different AI technical things, it does all sorts of stuff, which you can utilize if you want to do that. I definitely utilize it. But this is the Balanced Visionary Brian's interview. Okay, so I'm just going to click save on that. So if Brian happens to want a copy, I can go over here, click share. You don't have to have a passcode. You can if you want. Well, this one actually has created it. You can change it to everyone with the recording link. Nobody else can view. I just leave it with everyone with the recording link, or for your client, because you get their email address, you can send it directly to them. All right? Everything you can utilize and do inside of Zoom, so utilize it, especially if you're paying for it. So that is how you would go and record on your screen, or record your meeting so that you can share with your client and send it out. All of these other things are a little bit more advanced, okay? We'll talk about going live here in a moment. So you can play around with this. You can definitely dive in and look at Zoom. I'm not going to be doing an advanced training on Zoom. I'm only covering the basics to help you get started, guys. If you want to dive in deeper, I highly recommend that you utilize the training programs that Zoom has on their platform. Now, if you are someone who is utilizing Zoom to go live as a broadcasting tool, you can click here, more, and go live on Facebook's Workplace, YouTube, Twitch, or if you have a custom streaming service. So to go live on, we'll do YouTube so I can kind of show you. Oh gosh, let's see. Yeah, we'll do. If you're not signed in to Google, oh gosh, let's see. Of course, it's going to have me, I had to upgrade my computer, and it is wanting me, okay, I'm going to get a verification code, 014052, next. Okay, and continue. Oh my gosh. Continue. You may have to go through this setting, so don't worry. Now it's brought me back to Zoom. You can put your title of your video. Zoom training. You can do public, unlisted, private. I'm going to do private for this one and click go live. So I can't go live, all right, because this YouTube channel is not set to go live. You'll know, and that's a setting with inside of YouTube, so that's separate. But it will prompt you if you're able to go live or not. Just test it out, and if you can't figure out how to go live, definitely send me a message, and if I get enough messages, I will do a training video on that. But for the purpose of this meeting, most of you are not going to be going live. You're only utilizing Zoom to help your clients and do sessions and trainings and things like that. But this is how I would do it. I always record to the cloud. Even if I'm not doing a session and I'm utilizing Zoom for training, I'm creating a course, I go to the cloud for the simple fact that it's going to back up all that information. And if you set up your account at the very beginning with working live, you're going to have a lot of, you're going to be able to utilize the plan that you're under, which is the business plan, which is going to give you more memory, more access, and it's going to hold your files, okay? So that is the training on Zoom. And let me know if you have any questions. Again, when you're done with this, you're going to click end meeting for all, and it's going to tell me a cloud recording is ready for, well, this one isn't ready for now. That was the prior one. But Zoom, if you have the app downloaded on your computer, it's gonna tell you if it's ready or not. Now, if you have the app downloaded on your computer, you're gonna open it like this. You can create a new meeting. You can join meetings. I do not literally mess with any of these. I only do the new meeting, and I utilize everything through Zoom on here. Okay? I hope this video helped. I do know that I can get to going pretty fast. So you have the option to slow this meeting down through your settings in YouTube. Slow it down, pause, play around with Zoom. But for crash coursing, the best things that you need to do is just make sure your Zoom is set up correctly. Make sure that you can record to the cloud so it's easy for you to share with your clients, especially if you're utilizing for that, and to back up your recordings and information, and to create the invites because it makes it easier for you. All right? So let me know if you have any questions. I do hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you in the next training. Bye now.